The items used for this build are Aura Sacrifice Infernal Sword. I use this weapon because of the 20% chance to ignite and the gain a frenzy charge when attack ignites an enemy. That's why it works perfectly with Flicker Strike, because you can bypass the cooldown of Flicker Strike every time you expend a frenzy charge. And for the gloves, I use the Tome Fist. I only use one with one socket because I only need the Murderous Eye Jewel for the intimidation. The Maim doesn't do anything for this build. For the boots, I use Gains Momentum. I use this for the chance to ignite as well as damage against ignited enemies. The movement speed and fire resist is a nice bonus. For the helm, I use a rare helm with life and resist. The EK damage doesn't do anything for this build. And for the chest, I use a Comb's Heart. For the rings, I use 2 Opal rings. Elemental damage, increase elemental damage with attack skills and fire damage to attacks. The intelligence I use on this ring and the amulet I need for the chance to ignite support gem, because it requires 106 int and I don't get much int from anywhere else. And for the amulet, I use one with fire damage, life, elemental damage with attacks and a bit of rest. And for the belt, I use one with life, rest and elemental damage. For flasks, I use one life flask with immune to curse. I use an artillery flask. I use a wise oak. I use a damage with immune to bleeding. I use an onslaught which removes freeze. This is the skills I chose for my level 89 Flicker Strike Raider. I started going this way. I did not pick up Vault Pack, not yet. And then I continued over here. I rushed towards Resolute Technique, and then at level 67, when I could equip the Aura Sacrifice Sword, that's when I equipped Fireborn here as well. That would turn all these physical nodes into fire damage. Then around level 70 I got the Vault Pact, and then I continued over here to get the extra damage, life, more damage. And for the sockets, I was looking for fire damage to sword attacks, fire damage to attacks and life. And then lastly I got the Primal Spirit because I felt my mana wasn't good enough to be able to push Flicker Strike to max. And for Ascendancy, I started going Way of the Poacher and then Avatar of the Slaughter. Obviously Way of the Poacher was for the frenzy chargers, and then Avatar of Slaughter for the extra damage and movement speed, as well as the maximum frenzy charges. And then I did Quartz Infusion and Avatar the Veil. Avatar the Veil gives 40% extra elemental damage, and then I get a lot of defensive bonuses while using phasing. And I can use phasing while I use my Onslaught Flask, as well as when I get maximum frenzy charges. The gems used for this build are Flicker Strike, and with Flicker Strike I combine Ruthless, elemental damage to attacks, chance to ignite, multi-strike, and melee splash. I switch out the melee splash for fire penetration against tougher bosses. In the helm I use Ball Haste, I use cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, level 3, cast when damage taken, level 1, and Ancestral Protector. In the boots I use Anger, Flammability, Curse on Hit, Herald of Ice. Herald of Ice is going to trigger Curse of Hit, and Curse of Hit is going to trigger Flammability. On the boots I use Lightning Golem, I use Leap Slam, and faster attacks. On the Pantheon I use Soul of Ralakesh. Reduced damage over time while moving helps a lot since Flicker Strike is a movement skill, so I'm always moving. And for Major Guard I use Soul Solaris because I want damage reduction against bosses rather than groups of enemies. For Bandits I decided to kill them all rather than help Kratin because I feel a Jewel Socket is a lot better than attack speed and a bit of movement speed.